Right, so Liz Truss is back. She's speaking out against the establishment. She's attacking those who brought her down, and she went on GB News to talk about this issue with Dan Wootton. Some of you might have already seen the video, but this is a clip of one of the questions that the audience members asked Liz Truss about those, again, in the establishment, the deep state who brought her down, and what she thinks of the whole situation. Let's watch this.
They are going to ask the questions tonight of you, and that's what I'm most excited about. So I want to start with Karen Hankey, who is an Architecture Awards Manager from Newton Le Willows. Karen, over to you.
Hiya, Liz. I still can't understand why the left, the Treasury, the media were surprised by the mini-budget. You'd spent the whole summer during the leadership campaign saying exactly what you was going to do, and you did it. So why did they react in that way? Why did the MSM seem to do a pile-on? Was it just to take you down?
This is why the instinct of normal people up and down the country is absolutely genius. I didn't think about this issue before. The outrage that the establishment showed to the budget. We talked about this. We talked about the problem with the establishment and everything else. This is a very, very tiny point, but it's a very important point that she just made, Karen. It was about the fact that she already warned them. She was running around during the summer, during her leadership campaign, telling the country exactly what she was going to be doing. Yet they were surprised, which means obviously there was always a witch hunt. There was always this plot against her. So it was a fake outrage that you saw from the media or the Bank of England.
Well, maybe they were shocked that I was a politician who actually did what I'd said I would do. Yes. And that was just a massive shock. I don't know, maybe that's not what they were expecting. But as you say, we did spell out the policies, but there is such resistance to change from much of the economic establishment. They are used to not being questioned. And you know, the Bank of England, which has run monetary policy independently since 1997, in my view, didn't put interest rates up early enough.
Yep.
If they'd put up interest rates early, they wouldn't have had to put them up so much.
Yeah.
Because we'd have dealt with inflation by now. And they also printed too much money. And I think it's perfectly legitimate for people here in Lee or for me to ask questions about that. But we've got to a position now where these institutions don't like to be questioned. I think that's a problem. And before the 2019 election, in 2016, people in this country voted for Brexit. And people here in Lee voted for Brexit because we were fed up of decisions being taken in Brussels that we had no say over. And we thought, great. And I thought, great, as a member of British government, we can now get control of trade policy, we can do all these things. But I think what we've discovered is actually politicians in Westminster don't necessarily have those levers to get things done.
No.
You can be elected as a party leader, as a prime minister.
We can't do it.
Pull the levers, but there are other people who are not necessarily on board with those decisions.
Indeed. OK.
This is actually a very, very good point, because it's not just about one person, one leader, or one prime minister. So even those who say, oh, if we just have Nigel Farage as prime minister or Richard Tice or whatever, it's going to change things. No, it doesn't really change anything. Or David Curtin or whoever you like. It's not really just about one person or a few people around him. It's the rest of the House of Commons and the MPs, even from your own party, and of course the rest of the establishment. Now, it's interesting because there are some who would say she makes a good point, but she gave up and she didn't fight back. And there are those who say, well, she couldn't have decided to fight back if she would have failed because they brought her down anyway. It was impossible. Both groups are correct, but it's all about the fact that if you're going to try this next time, anybody who's anti-establishment, whether from the Tory party or from Reform UK or from UKIP or as an independent or a new party, you now need to be more cautious. You need to be prepared before you launch the attack on the establishment, just like what Trump did in 2016. Now, you might argue that even with Trump, the establishment brought him down eventually. But at least within that 4 years as president, he was already prepared for all the attacks left, right and center from everybody. And that's why he still managed to get things done. So it's all about being prepared. It's not enough to just be a rebel. It's not just enough to say the right things to your echo chamber saying, yes, I'm right wing. I want to do Brexit. I want to bring down taxes. I want to destroy net zero. It's not enough. I mean, I can say that all day. You need to know exactly what you're doing and how you're going to be doing it. Anyway, let me know what you think of this whole situation. If you still support Liz Truss or not. I'm Mahyar Tousi. and we are the media.